All right, so today we're going to show you how to do a big idea storyboard window. And what this is all about is basically drawing pictures of some of the key concepts that we're going to learn about this year. The topics, there are several topics we're going to be discussing throughout the year and every civilization that we learn about. And the topics are achievements, geography, social classes, religion, government and leadership, and economy and trade. So every single civilization we discuss this year, we're going to basically break it down into 6 categories. The first one is how a civilization makes money through the buying and selling of goods and services. And some examples might include resources, trade routes, agriculture, and products. So this is actually an economy, which is how a group makes its money. How are they going to thrive as a civilization? Where is their money coming from? How are they going to be able to, what are they going to be able to trade? What resources do they have? So I'm going to draw a little rectangle here. This can be the first thing. Maybe you could probably be guessing what it is I'm going to be drawing while I'm drawing it. Some little dollar signs in the corner. A 1 right here, little smiley face guy. Right? There he is. Put some ears on him. Put some hair on him. Alright, so that, as you can tell, looks hopefully something like a rudimentary or a basic dollar bill. And the big question is how? This is the big overarching question. How do they, and when I say they, I mean the civilization as a whole, how do they make money? What's their source of income or money coming in? Okay, the next one we're going to draw are some ovals like this. 3 little ovals. You see that I don't always draw everything perfect. I'm not ever looking for perfection when you're drawing. I just want you to have a visual, because brain research shows us if you can visualize it, you can remember it better. And that's the whole key. So we're going to draw some little lines going like this, and hopefully this might look like something familiar. We're going to draw some little bling coming off of it. Bling, bling, bling. Maybe some stars if you'd like. Make it look extra shiny. And this big question is what? What? What are your resources? What do you got? Or what do they have? What do they have that they can sell that maybe someone else might want? Right? Could have something to do with where your location is. Okay. This next one, I'm going to draw 2 little things like this, right? Like this, maybe. And then to the side, we'll draw a little boop. So I drew 2 things like that. And then like this. And then we'll draw some lines going all the way. And hopefully it looks something like a road. And my question is going to be where? Where are they trading it? Where is it going? So if they have a resource, where are they selling it to make money? And the where might have to do with the trade route. So I'm going to write trade routes. Now some examples, maybe while you're catching up here. Some resources. We're going to talk about in Africa how gold was a major resource. We're going to talk about how silk was a resource in China. And the silk was traded on the Silk Road that connected Europe and Asia. And that's how they made their money. They kept it secret so that no one would know how to make silk, so that people had to come to them. And that's how they made their money. That's economy, how you make money. All right, sometimes it's agricultural, which means it's something you grow, but sometimes it's something you produce, like silk. All right, next thing we're going to talk about is government and leadership. And that's written right up here. Government leadership right up there. And it is how a civilization creates an organized way of leadership. Sometimes it's going to include the ruler or king or queen, laws that they create, and policies. So I'm going to write government leadership. Government leadership. All right. So this one's really simple. Draw two lines down like this, and then a semicircle, right? Two lines and a semicircle, and then just some jagged lines like this. And you can probably already see what that's going to be. Put some little jewels up here. And it's who. Who's in charge? Large and in charge. The ruler. I'm going to put a slash here. Leader. Could be a king, right? Could be a queen. All right, this next thing, you have to bear with me here. It's not going to look like much at first, but you're going to draw a semicircle. So when you draw visuals like this, they're called memory pegs to help you to remember. That's the whole point. To help you to remember more. If you remember more, you learn more. All right, we're going to draw this like this, maybe like this. Maybe the same thing up top here. All right, probably doesn't look like a whole lot to you right now, but hopefully this next part it will. Aha! If it doesn't, still, well, oh well. We tried our darndest, and this is like a gavel. It's like pounding, and it is what is important or new. And this is regards to, as it says down here, policies or laws. So I'm going to put policies, question mark, laws, question mark. All right, so let's see. A policy that one of the African kings had of Ghana is to tax people that were coming through his trade route that were trading gold from the south with salt from the north. So they were traders were going through Ghana, and one of the ways that he made money to contribute to the economy in Ghana was to tax people, which was a law. And that was the king of Ghana. So you'll see that a lot of these things are linked, of course. This next one's pretty easy, and it's physical environment, how it may influence an economy and culture. And so, you know, the physical environment that we are going to talk about are pretty vast, but desert, islands in some cases, Japan, rivers, oceans, mountains, geographical borders that might be obstacles, and sometimes obstacles work to the person's advantage or the civilization's advantage because they're hard to reach for invaders. So geography. All right, we're going to draw a little world here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's see, there we're going to draw a little Baja California coming down. We're going to draw a little Mexico coming down there, going to South America. Doesn't look like it yet, but you'll see. And we'll draw a Florida. Oh, that's my fierce dog. That's Alice. Alice is protecting me, and you can tell she's very fierce. This is Alice right here. She hears someone outside, and she gets her feathers all ruffled. She's a fierce protect dog. Hey, it's okay. Okay, so this is Mexico here. So we got Baja California coming down. Texas would be right here. We got Florida, and then South America, right? We're going to draw this, make it look like there's ocean. All right. Maybe we can draw little waves. Okay, we'll put a little star. I'm in San Diego, so I'm going to draw a little star here. Okay, so your geography is where in the world? Physical characteristics. Alice has been, we have an avocado tree in the back of our yard, and Alice has been eating avocados lately, so she's getting kind of big. Okay, so where? Physical characteristics. So let's use that Africa example again. Because of Africa's location, one of their resources was gold, right? And one of the kings said, okay, since the gold's to the to the south and the salt's to the north, and people are trading it, he created a policy that would contribute to their economy, or how they're going to make money, by taxing people who came through their trade route. So it's all dependent on each other. This next one is how a civilization is divided into classes that have different roles, responsibilities, and privileges. Family village, maybe a feudal system, slaves and nobles. This is social classes. How? It's the hierarchy, which is how they're all organized. So this is really dealing with who's the top, who's the bottom, who's in the middle. At the top, that's usually going to be a king, right? Or maybe the advisors of a king sometimes. Who's at the bottom? An example of the bottom might be slaves, right? Put a question mark. Not all civilizations had slaves, but peasants are the common people, right? Maybe advisors to the king. So we'll put nobles, and then maybe king. All right, so it's how everyone's all broken up. Who has the most privilege is usually at the top. Who has the least privilege is usually at the bottom. And it's how a society is broken up within their group. So, and within their civilization, excuse me. One of the ones we're going to talk about is the Aztecs. And the Aztecs had kings and they had slaves. They had the general workers and they had the king's advisors. So, or religious leaders, I would say, would be in this category. So every single civilization we're talking about this year has some sort of hierarchy, some sort of way that their society is organized. All right, the next one is a belief system that influences the development of a civilization. Some examples may include Islam, Buddhism, Christianity, and Judaism. Now, in medieval history, which is what we're going to talk about this year, it's when a lot of the religions originated. And so this is a huge common thread throughout the year. And to me, it's an important one because since the religions were created, or many of the religions were created during this time, it also impacts the world that we are in today and how people behave. So we're going to, right? So this is Christianity, which is the cross. We're going to write Christianity here. And then one of the ones that we're going to talk about this year is Islam, which started in the Arabian Peninsula. Geography, right? The Arabian Peninsula and spread out. Okay. So I was talking about behavior. So, Islam is the second largest religion in the world, right? And if you were to go to a Muslim country today, you would see that women would be covering to show modesty. You would see people praying 5 times a day as part of their religion. You wouldn't be shocked to see that. The second largest religion in the world, being Islam, it dictates behaviors, and these behaviors really stem from the religion that began during this time. It's a common thread. Another thing we're going to talk about is Buddhism. Oh, here we go with the Buddha. How are we going to do this? Maybe we'll draw a head like this, and we'll do like some arms like this. Sitting Indian style. Oh, this is a tough one. That's okay. Again, it's just to show conceptually. So we'll act like the arms are together, and Buddhas are always happy. All right, so we'll put Buddhism. These are the big three that we're going to talk about, the big three. We're going to talk about some others. Christianity being the largest religion, Islam, and then Buddhism. A common thread with Christianity is in Europe, is when it all began. We're going to talk about how Christianity grew in Europe and then eventually would spread to South America and to Mexico because explorers that were Christian went there and conquered those territories, and because of that, most of South America and Mexico are Christian today. It's also in America, right? The people from England came over and settled on the east coast of America. They were Puritans to begin with. Puritans are a Christian religion, or a Christian sect, or group, and since they were the first to settle here, we speak English, and the majority religion in America is Christianity. Of course, we in America, we not only tolerate, but we think it's important that people have different perspectives and points of view. And so there are many religions. This next one is, I didn't label it. Religion. This next one is long-lasting contributions of a civilization. And I went ahead and drew a book. I got a little hasty there, and I drew a book. Some may include art, architecture, science, inventions, and ideas. So a book. Now, we're going to talk about literally the creation of a book is important with the printing press and Gutenberg and different people that were able to make books more accessible to people. And then also different achievements or contributions. Let's see if you can guess what this one is. That are long-lasting, right? Long-lasting achievements. So we're going to do never eat shredded wheat, right? And we'll have a little thing there. And I'm sure you can sort of guess what that is, even though the drawing isn't that great. It's a compass. All right, transfer of knowledge. Or beliefs also, because one of the first books ever printed, I'm sure you could probably guess what one of the first books ever printed was, and that is the, drum roll please, Bible. Still a national bestseller today. Okay, another thing here is gunpowder. Wow, think about how this was invented by the Chinese, right? And the Chinese used it for celebrations initially, and then people, the evil side, right, the dark side, took it and started using it for weapons, and I would say that that's been a huge, long-lasting contribution, and some might argue had a negative effect on mankind, but an invention nonetheless that had a huge contribution. What? And we're going to say, what is the long-lasting? All right. So, many of these things are related, but not always. I already kind of made some links here. Sometimes the religion that you are dictates the policy that's created. Sometimes the environment that you're in will lead you to what sort of resources you have. Sometimes those resources might help you to manufacture a product that ends up being an achievement. At any rate, throughout this year, at every civilization we look at, we're going to be talking about these categories. And every civilization has specific things that fit into each category. Again, when you draw something, give it your best effort. It's just a memory peg, something to help you to remember what it is we've learned. You'll never be graded on your ability, but more your will and your effort to show what it is you've learned. Thanks so much for watching today, and we'll be doing window panes in the future, but they'll be more specific to the civilizations that we learn. All right, have a great day.